Good morning, guys. Just trying to make sure. Let's pause this a minute. Just trying to make sure my volume's working. All right, good to go. Good to go. All right, so we're kind of still stuck in that range from yesterday, back in that 700s to 600 range. So we have not moved out of that range yet. Interesting. Oh, I was like, all right, I think we're set up and ready to go. So we do have some news this morning, guys. We already had this is what this big candle here was kind of a news play. Or right here. I was kind of hoping for some kind of pullback. If you pull the fib on this whole leg, I was kind of hoping that let's start here. Big leg. Kind of awkward shape because of the news play, but it's still kind of the low. So let's see at the opening if we can get some kind of pullback up in this area here. And then hopefully it'll be like a manipulation of that 15 minutes, then a move back down. What's weird is I think we came within like points of that 600. So I was very shocked that we did not run that 600 here. All right. Might be a pretty slow day today. What's up, guys? Just kind of getting something set up real quick. Ah, oh, like what is going on there? Hopefully everyone's ready for Christmas if you celebrate Christmas holidays. We do have some 3-star news here in about, what, 45 minutes to either 45 to 30. Let me look that up quick just to be sure. You do not want to be trapped in a news play here. I know it's 3-star. I've looked at it once. We've already had some 3-star news this morning. Let's look at it real quick. Move some stuff around here. So we use investing.com as our news tool. So investing.com, if you're new here, what's up, Trader G? Go to tools, select economic calendar, kind of scroll down and just see, find your flag for whatever country you may live in, and it'll usually list the news. Most of the larger news like that you see most of the time comes out of the US, like, those big 200 point moves, but those are only on certain news events. I don't see the consumer confidence moving a whole bunch as far as the, big drop. I couldn't tell you how much of a drop, but it's usually not like massive. We did have a GDP price index this morning and durable good orders. And let's see what it paid. I mean, that's what this candle here. So what was that? About a 75-point candle. Trader, I'm not sure. Make sure you got the right one selected, because I'm not sure which one of my chat is for which one. Because I have a vertical and horizontal screen available on YouTube. So if you prefer the horizontal, just make sure you picked it, because there's 2 different ones on there. I don't know. Yesterday's price action was really no good follow through yesterday. Okay, yeah. I have it like that. So, like, for people that are on your phone, just try to reach more viewers. So I do the same thing on TikTok also. I do horizontal and vertical screens. So, maybe you're someone who watches on the phone, or maybe you're someone that just does computer screen. So this way we can have it both. Surprisingly, a lot of people uses their phones to... I think I even came across someone the other day that was actually trading on their cell phone, which I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. I know I couldn't do it. I would be like struggle bus trying to. Now, if I was looking at charts on my computer, then maybe putting the trade on my phone, yes, but trying to look at charts on your phone plus that, I'd be struggle. I'm not really sure today, G. I'm kind of looking for a pullback this morning. Because if you pull the fib on this whole leg, you would think that we want to get like a 50% pullback, maybe up into all this resistance up here. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Oh, no trading on the phone ever. I've never tried it either myself. I don't know. Is the market open for people tomorrow? You want to go to the previous high, G, to the previous low. So if you squish your charts in a little bit like this, it's a lot easier to see. So this is the high of the leg, and so this would be the top where you would start your fib. So I'll start it over for you. So if you're using Ninja, you select this little crayon pencil. Today I've actually just adjusted my fib to So it does look a little different than it usually looks, but you select Fibonacci retracement and you go to the top of the leg, which is right here. Then pull all the way. I have a Fibonacci extension added on mine. This is just something new I was trying. But anyway, you go to the bottom of the leg at 0%. And then you're just kind of looking to see if we can get back into the 50, 60% of this leg, then maybe another sell-off. So, for instance, if you pull the previous leg was perfect. I hate that I missed it. So here's the top. Here's the bottom. And look, it pulled right back into your buy zone. Like this is the... For people who really trade the Fibonacci, this is what they call their golden pocket. So they're looking somewhere between the 70 and 80% pullback. And then they're looking, you know, then they get short in this area here. But I don't know if we'll get it that pretty this morning with that exact same pullback, but... The previous leg looked nice. So now that we made a new low, so now you would move to your next leg. I'll try to make a video on how I set up my Fibonacci, because I changed the settings inside of Ninja. So if you want to change the settings yourself, like if you wanted different colors or whatever, how you want to use it, you just select your Fibonacci here, then you right click on it, then go to properties, then it'll highlight your Fibonacci retracement, kind of scroll down, and you want to find level. See where it says levels, and you want to see, once you click on it, it'll say edit level prices. And then you can go through here and change the color. Or if you're looking for, just say, maybe you don't even care about the 20, the 38, and 50% back. You only care about between the 61 and the 80. And a lot of people, that's what they do. They just care about this zone. I want to say that's how it's set up on my TradingView. I can show you how it looks on TradingView. I had just changed that this morning, so. All right, let me pull up TradingView. TradingView, that's how they have it set up. Looking for my TradingView app here. So this is TradingView. So I gotta look around my camera. I can't see. All right, it's right there in the left-hand corner. It's like the second one under lines. It'll say Fibonacci retracement, and this is what TradingView looks like. So look, they don't even have they don't have the 50 or the 20 or none of that. So basically what this is, they're looking for the golden pocket here between that 60 and 76%. And you can see it hit right on the money too. Or is that the leg? Let's see. No, because it didn't make a high. So this is still the same leg. So pull back, then pull back. Then you're looking to see if it would go up into here. So yeah, this was the 10-minute charts. Let me put on the 5-minute charts. I've also been paying a lot more attention to the higher time frames, like the 9 and 10. Not the 9 and 10, but the 5 and 10, excuse me. So it looks like if we do try to move up, there's going to be a lot of resistance back to the upside because we got tons of order blocks back up to the upside. Or if you do like some of the ICT stuff, there is a play here that we could keep an eye on. So this is called failed inversion gaps or let me look at on my other charts a little easier to see. So you see how that also had the London low or that London area marked out there at what, 657. So definitely a possible long here. If we can push above this, print above it, then do like a little retest, you might be able to even get a nice long. And this is also a nice little 5-minute trend line too. So there's a lot in our favor going to the upside today. So you got a nice 5-minute trend line to the upside. Get a nice little fair value gap. If you can break this fair value gap plus get above that London low, then break out of this trend. So that's kind of what I would look for. The upside. The downside, I'm not really sure. I haven't looked much to the downside because we've already ran, because we just ran the low. The low from yesterday was at that 630. So we can see what happens here at the 630. I'm annoyed because I missed out on a 70-point move yesterday because I forgot to mark out the previous low. I was so focused on that gap fill at 600 that thing came back and stopped me out for like 5 or 10 points after being up like 50 or 60 points because I was like, man, how do we not go to the 600? But as you can see, it took the whole next day for us to get to the 600. And we still didn't even run it. If you go over here and look at your gap fill from yesterday, is right here. It missed it by 10 points. That'd be so. That's what it did to me yesterday. I was so focused on this gap fill when we got to moving, but literally it just ran this wick here at that gap opening and then went all the way back up the rest of the day. So unfortunately, it stopped me out because I was like, no way this thing comes all the way back up, and oh boy, it did. So I got to start taking points. If I get up to 50 points, I got to start taking profit. I can't just sit there and just let it come back and stop me out. What it is, I'm just trying to get better at just holding trades, and sometimes it does burn me. And it was my runner. All right, we're just going to take this off so it doesn't look like so much on here. I mean, right now, we're kind of all over the place. I mean, this is super, super crappy price action, guys. And it's crazy that we just did not take out those 600s. Just be careful today if you're trading. About similar, same as yesterday. You don't want to get caught in a choppy mess because I got caught in a loss yesterday morning, like right off the rip, and it was just like, ugh. I mean, we're already breaking out of our 15-minute range here. And it'd be super tough to buy the breakout to the downside. So you'd almost have to be a little patient and wait for us to either print below that because you do not want to buy the breakout into the 600 here. So maybe this will be our manipulation candle. But yesterday we just kept manipulating back and forth. So it was really hard to read price action yesterday. I mean, it's a little easy to read it the day after, but the why it's happening, it was tough. I will consider the long here if we break out of this 5-minute trend line. The better the long would probably be above 694 if you're looking at the 15-minute charts, and for, let's see, about the same for the 10-minute charts. About the same for the kind of that 75 range, 70 range. But you kind of have to look for a reversal out of that range because we do have an order block sitting there at the 75. See if we get stuck here at the 75s. Because that's an order block unless the volume pushes us through. There's the first hit, so second hit may get us through here. We're going to wait on the next second or third candle to see what happens, because we didn't get a print. I mean, we wanted this type of price action, but it was just a straight up boner candle. So there's just no way for us to jump into this unless you just want to jump. I mean, I'm not going to jump into it. I'd prefer to see a cleaner look where we pushed above it than, you know, then pull fib on your candle than to go. It's hard to jump in on candles like this. It sucks. So we're going to run our 5-minute trend line before we even get in. So it already ran that whole trend line level. That was dirty. That was so dirty. Oh my God, dude. Come on. That was so dirty. It ran our move in one sweep. Didn't even give us the opportunity to jump in. I don't. There's not really anything to do here but wait, guys. You got to wait for the next candle to print. We already ran our leg here, so we just kind of have to wait for the next leg. That was like a 100-point candle. Yeah, that's usually how you get yourself in trouble chasing breakout candles. Sometimes it's best not to chase these breakout candles because if you jump in too late, you get wrecked. I'm thinking if we can print in a few minutes, maybe. I probably won't take the next one because I don't usually like trading these big wick candles like this. I don't know. Usually I just don't have that much luck with those. So might have to wait, well, another 5 minutes here. Wait for the next. That would put us at like the 15-minute candle. Then also, no, 10 minutes for a new, but a 10-minute candle print. And we're going to look for a print above 685. Dirty, dirty, dirty. What's up, man? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm going to wait a few more minutes. I'm not going to be in no big hurry today. It already took my move away. We just didn't get the print we wanted. We had this nice 5-minute trend line breakout going here, but I was hopefully that we would get some type of just print above it, kind of find support, then go, but it just completely ripped. It just ripped completely off this morning. I'm gonna wait for a better looking candle because let's see, we got this wick way up here at 800, so I feel like we still got room to find an entry if we're going to run this wick up here from yesterday. So we still got a little move up to the upside. We still got about 3 minutes left, so we're kind of going to wait and see what happens with this next candle over here. All right, you got about 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 45 seconds for the next 5-minute candle. I really like to see this manipulate to the bottom a little bit more, but I just don't know if we can get through. What is this level here? That's the trauma line. I wouldn't mind seeing like a retest of the like 690s, 680s. That would be down in this green level here. So we still got 2 minutes, so we still got plenty of time. So it's probably about in this area right here, the 50% mark. We're also going to have the inside bar too, so that's another possible long entry if you do take the inside bar. I usually only take these inside bars on my eval. And that's a mechanical trade, so you're just at the mercy of the candle or at the mercy of the trade. All right, about to have a new candle. Let's see what happens with this new candle. Is it going to be kind of a dud where we still consolidate a little bit more? And we're also about to have a new 10-minute candle. I still hate the wick that's on top of this candle because that's still like a 40-point wick. I don't like the shorts unless we get back below 85. So I definitely won't be taking this to the downside. I'm not going to take this inside bar into the 700s. So you need to see 85 if you're short break. The 85 will be my line in the sand here too. And this is just with 2 micros. We'll be right at 85 because that's my 87 is my line in the sand. This is 2 micros, just so you guys know how much I'm risking per trade. I try not to over leverage my accounts. This way, if we get in drawdown, we're not like taking massive drawdown. Or if you take a loss, it's not like devastating. If we hit our first target, we're going to take our stop loss to 700. This way, we can still have negative drawdown with, and it'll be pretty much still a kind of a free trade. Oh, did that thing just miss me by a tick? I think it did. All right, we're about to have a new 5-minute candle / 15-minute candle. All right, moving to 700 here. This way, if it comes back and stops me out, it's pretty much cost me $10 to take the trade. And we're targeting 790, the highs from yesterday. If I get above 50, we'll go to break even because I'm not going to get up 35 points and take a loss. So come on, 800. I want you to just blast now. I didn't really look and see if how much. Is that yesterday's 15 minutes? 750. So we may run a resistance at 750 on this one. So it looks like we're trying to get through this here and this down wick here. Actually, it's that down wick. So if we can push back up and get through the 40s. What I'm not a fan of, I know for every bit of fact that we can pull all the way back down to that 15-minute gap. Because this could be one big leg, pull fib on here, and this would be like your 70% probably pull back on this full leg here. So it can easily pull all the way back to here. Sorry, guys, if I don't see your messages. Sometimes, I'm sorry, ATH. This is the 5-minute time frame. I'm sorry. A lot of times when I click on my screens, this is one thing I hate about YouTube chats. I hate that that's probably the biggest difference that I like between YouTube chats and TikTok. TikTok has that like see-through chat that it doesn't disappear if I click on like my charts, because I have them kind of sitting on top of my trading view charts and they disappeared and I'll forget about them and I look up, I'm like, oh crap, they're gone. So if you're just joining us, remember I said on the pullback that you wanted 87 to hold, and we pulled back to about the 92. And we were going to target this wick here. I don't know if we should hit the 70s because you got 1, 2, or do you think we can rally and take out these highs from yesterday? I didn't really get to jump in down here where I wanted. Like, this is where I wanted to get long today because I felt very bullish. We had a really nice 5-minute trend line, but it was such a huge bullish candle. I don't jump in on candles like this. Because you get wrecked trying to jump in on this kind of candles. Because let's just say, you know what, hey, I'm going to jump in right here. This thing ended up pulling back 40 points from the high. So that's the only thing about trading 5-minute candles. You cannot jump in. If you miss a 5-minute candle, you might as well just let it go, because it's just too much drawdown that you would have to withstand. We may just follow our 5-minute candles up. So what we'll do, just so we don't completely take a complete loss on this, hopefully these 5-minute candles can just keep the nice little pullback with wicks and keep, moving to the upside. I just don't like seeing these big 5-minute candles with them that's all wick, because that's usually just crappy price action. That means the bulls are not in control completely. Look at this, man. Come on. If we do get a decent pullback, maybe we can try to re-enter if for some reason it pulls way back down here. Also protect your profits, because we're in news. We got news here at 10 o'clock. Oh man, it's gonna pull back and stop us out. I can already see it. Maybe it just ran the wick. Hopefully. Nope. All right, a runner up. It did. Maybe. Nope. Okay. Runner got stopped out, guys. Didn't get that 800 like we wanted. Maybe if we get a fairly deep pullback, maybe we can find another entry here. I wouldn't mind seeing a pullback all the way to the 21 EMA to the 60s and 70s. I don't know if we'll get that deep. That's a really deep pullback. But you got to be careful if you're going to enter the closer we get to that 10 o'clock hour, because there's news that's coming. All right, we're going to be patient on the next one. We're just going to sit here and wait and see if we get a pullback and see if this is the highest for the moment. Because you got the 21 EMA all the way back down at the 670. There's that big order block sitting there. If you wonder why we got stopped, it's an order block right here. I wasn't even paying attention. Still a fairly weak high. All right, guys, we're just gonna sit on the sideline for a moment. Yeah, we just gotta sit here. It's gonna probably be a few minutes before we get our next trade, guys. I need to go back and see how many points we got at that, because recently I thought about just. I think I'm almost to the point where I just want to try for like 25 points with 2 micros, because I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of profit by just letting it go, like what I've been doing lately. I just haven't really seen a benefit from it, because I'm getting nice big trades. It's just the fact that we're not capitalizing on that runner very often. I'd like to see a little bit deeper pullback down to this 21 EMA here. This would be a nice little bounce spot too, and that would be also on that trend line level too. So this would be a nice bounce area. My guess is probably going to bounce here at this, what, 87. Let me mark 87 out and let's see if we get the bounce. That's a wick bounce right there. There's the 87. There's the 21. Nicely, nicely. Got to be careful here. We got news. We got news in 3 minutes, so a little bit more. Come on, keep pushing down. At 87 is kind of my line in the sand. Ooh, this is kind of scary. We got a minute 40 seconds till news. Like I said, that 87, 80 area is my line in the sand. There's a lot of wicks there in the 5 minutes there. Skeptical if I want to leave my trade on here, guys. $40 seconds left. I think I'll move it up and just move it down. If I like the price action, I'll drop it. That'll give me time to not like it. I'm hoping nothing happens because I hate when it messes up the charts. Nah, news didn't do much. Sorry about that. I mean to breathe in the mic there. What's up, believer? How are you doing today? We're doing good. We're right now. Ah, dang it. For saying my, whatchamacallit, disconnected. Could get a bounce off this 15 minutes down there, guys. Let's see. You want to see this area here hold. I want to keep a tight stop loss on this in case it doesn't stop. So no more than 10 points on this trade. Or 15. I'll do 15. The one day I try this, it may not bounce because that's the way it goes. What it is the 15-minute retest. All right, we're just going to ride or die with it. We closed inside that 15 minutes. We were looking for this 15-minute range to hold up here. It's still bouncing. Sorry, just kind of focused on the charts at the moment. That's probably a fail. Usually if you get like a pullback like that, that's probably like 30-40% there. Yeah, like I said, most of the time we always miss this trade, and the one time we take it, it's probably going to fail. Not a fan of this small candle, because a lot of times this just means that we're going to move down on the very next candle. So depending on what this candle looks like on the next print, if we stay in this trade or not. Because if it's an all wick candle, I don't pull fib on this damn big candle, so I don't know where our percentages are. I'm just trying to get out of this with minimum damage if we don't get our first target. Let me pull a fib on this. I don't know if we're going to be able to stay in this. God dang it. It might get our stop loss before we even... It's like right there at it. I didn't have time to pull fib on this candle to see where the 50% body was. Yeah, so we just ran the 38% of this candle. I'm just going to stay in this for 3 points. It looks like the Bulls, I mean, the Bears are going to basically take over this because, like I said, the Bulls just couldn't hold on. I wish we could have got a better entry. So what we were looking at, we were looking for us because we pulled back into this here, this area that's marked out for the opening range. Most of the time when we pull back into this, we go all the way back up. Like almost, if I go back and look at all my previous charts, it just goes completely back up. But I understand price actions probably, man, watch this thing just end up ripping on me now. We ended up paper handing because we wasn't sure. You got to kick your butt all the way to the bank here. Ah. Dirty. The destroying the trading. I mean, technically, this is still a leg down here because we have not broke the low from this candle. So we would need to make this a new leg. We would need to break below the 600 here. Man, the one day that I played the 15-minute range here, this thing does not bounce. Usually this thing will just rip all the way back up to the top usually on these 15-minute bounces. And usually I haven't been taking them. So the one day that I finally take them, it puts me through a lot of just like um, not good follow through movement. So let's see here. I guess we'll just kind of see what happens at the 605, 604s. You might get a nice bounce down here. We'll see what happens. If this area holds, we may look for another long here. My new girlfriend's the Russell 2000. I don't know if I've ever tried any of the Russell 2000. Yeah, that 29 level is the can be the line in the sand here. We also have an order block in this area too, from 32 down to 609. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 candles. No, no, man, this is every bit of eval trading with this type of price action. This is something that you maybe work on your strategy with, or just chart time. Just use it as that type of I mean, this was the golden pocket right here, so oh goodness. Yeah, I mean, hell, we're only up like 40 or $50 from just two 10-point trades. So, man, if we get back above this 21 EMA, we may shoot for the highs up here. Waiting for the next 5 minute candle to print and see if we can stay above this area here. Because we didn't make a low with this move here, so this may be the bottom here. Not the bottom of the total move, but as far as this leg goes for a pushback up possible. Mm. Just waiting for the next 5 minute candle here. Got 20 seconds left on it. We may try to add this if it pulls back. If it pulls back into this gap one more time before it continues, and try to get a better entry. In case we get stuck at this wick here. I hate that this, I don't think this is a new leg because it did not make a new low. So it should be part of this leg here. And I may even say 69 area is kind of my line in the sand below the 21 EMA. This way we're only risking probably about 10 points here. Another test of the 21 EMA. As long as we stay above the 21 EMA, we should be fine. Where you start getting a little nervous if we start going back below the 21 EMA. You just need to see that 21 EMA hold up. We chose this target here because of this wick. There's a big down wick sitting at 92. If we hit that first target, what we'll do is just put our stop loss. So we'll still be in this for negative. As long as this level holds after that first target, it'll still be a break-even trade. Once that first target hits. This is what I forget not believing in the trade while ago, because this was actually perfect. You were supposed to be long out of this area off this 15 minutes in the golden pocket. I mean, it was perfect, and we paper handed it pretty bad. I'm trading with Beulah Knox Believer. Need the 21 to hold up here. Right now, we're just in this for 2 micros. Man, we still got 2 minutes left on this candle. Yeah, they accept U.S. clients. It's a U.S. company, as far as I know. No, the only people that I've ever got the qualified payouts is through Apex and Fast Tracks, and Fast Track, they stole everybody's money. But they do pay out though, because I have I know of several people who gets payouts with them. They do pay. Were you over leveraged, Logan? Or were you short a while ago? Were you short from down here or something? Yeah, they're legit company. They're good company. Mm. It could drop here. We got one more safety net right here. If we lose the 60s, we might have to close this trade. We're on an eval, so we're just trying to make sure we give it some room to run if it needs to pull back. Yeah, right now, Believer, they're 90% off. Yeah, we're in a long on an eval today. We're not doing fundeds on this price action, and it's holiday time, so it's probably safer just to stick to valuations or a sim account, just because price action is kind of weird today. You know, price action probably won't go back to normal until after the first. You got to think this is 2 days or one day before. You got to think most banks and all these people are closed these next few days. Dude, trust me, Logan, I can't tell you how many times I've done that. And I'll come in here and talk to people like, dude, don't trade today. And I'll do it anyway and just screw my stuff up. I screw myself over. I've done that I don't know how many times, man. So, like, rollover week's a really horrible week to trade. So, it's actually the last 3 weeks of December. So, last week was rollover week. This week is the holidays with Christmas Eve and Christmas. The next week is New Year's Eve with New Year's Day. So these are like horrible 3 weeks of just trading price action. We should have a little bit of room because we bought in 5 contracts. We already sold them. We just did like a quick little $50 trade. Dude, this right here, I'm annoyed that I didn't hold my trade because I didn't believe in it. After I've gone back and looked and looked and looked, this should have been a Fibonacci golden pocket trade. And I'm mad that I didn't hold my trade because I don't know. It happens because I listen to other people sometimes and I talk myself out of it. So this is the leg. I mean, this was perfect down here. I'm annoyed that I didn't hold it. But anyway, it pulled back to the 76 to 80% inside of the 15-minute candle to the tick. And now you're supposed to hold this thing basically all the way up here to 790. No, I never was looking for shorts. I would never look for shorts unless we broke this leg right here below the 15 minutes. So unless you caught that short from up here, there is no short for myself down there. Like I said, this whole trade was based off the Fibonacci retracement. So big leg, wait for the pullback. This is people who usually trade this normally, like all the time. Most of the time, I've been doing a lot of Fibonacci on individual 5-minute candles, but I've been going back and looking back and back and back at looking at Fibonacci on the whole move. You got to be a lot more patient and wait. But man, if you can trust the move, basically, if this thing can push below this 78%, then just put your buy order right here. Then use like either this or this as your stop loss. Because usually if it breaks this or that, it's no longer a valid trade anyway. I think I got long at 43. So I was right above the 76%, but I didn't trust the trade. Oh, see, that's nice. If you got short up there around that 700s, I like shorting. I'm usually iffy about shorting the 90s because I know that 90 area is a tough area to trade. I repeat that a lot too. So between the 90 and the 10s, always the toughest to trade. I'll try to make a video on how I set up my Fibonacci. This way, if anybody wants to use it, this is something new that I've been trying to, is the Fibonacci extensions. I've never really used these, but never put them on. It never hurts to put them on there just to see how well they work. I mean, I'm guessing you can go back and look. I know they're not 100%. I feel like if you can get there and just target the top of the leg, I think that's probably the safer bet. It didn't make any sense. It takes a minute to get used to it. Which platform are you using it on, Tess? TradingView. Yeah, TradingView does look weird. I can bring TradingView. I think you would have to adjust the you would have to adjust the sorry, I have to look over and see my fib here. So you would start at the top of the candle. Did I start? Oh, sorry. We were going up, so bottom of the candle. Yeah, I'm guessing you would have to, like, let's see. You can adjust it here. So if you got your Fibonacci pulled, click on it, take that little cursor, click on it, and it should bring up your how you want to save it. So I think I might go back and do that later today. But then you can adjust the colors, how big of a pullbacks you want. So I use pretty like standard ones. So you can adjust the settings there. So for NinjaTrader, you click on it, go to properties. It's already selected. Just go down here to, let me find it, line prices, where see where it says line prices levels. Just click on it and hit edit price level. And then you can set the prices in whatever colors you want. So I just use the pretty standard ones with the 23.6, the 38.2, the 50%, the 61.8, the 78.6, and the 86 as the lowest, then your 100. So these are your starting. So this would go either from the high to the low, vice versa. Then your percentages, and these are the extensions on top of it. And so what this does, this matches the colors of the percentage. So this 61 matches this color, the 27 matches, what did that, all the way back up to here. So, or it matches the 76, I'm sorry, or 78, or 27 matches the 78. But they're color coordinated. So if you, most people, if you do Fibonacci, so we got back to the 81%. So they're probably looking for us to go all the way back up to the 780s here. Oh, crap. I think the hardest part about, yeah, there's plenty of information on Fibonacci. I mean, there's so many people that uses the Fibonacci. I've just recently started using it. I mean, I've always kind of used it, but I've been looking at it more and more lately on my trades on a smaller scale, like candle scale. And I've only started doing that because this week has been super wicky. So basically what it is, see these big wicks on the 5-minute candles. A lot of times I don't like taking these type of trades, even if I pull fib, because I just don't like taking trades when the candle's got like a 40-point wick on it. So a lot of times I'll just stay away from it. I'll make a video this evening when I get back home on how I set up my Fibonacci with NinjaTrader. And I can also do the one for TradingView, and I'll just set it up just like this one. You might have to go to my YouTube page because I'm not sure how long it'll take me to say that. Ooh, man, I might want to go to break even here. We're going to go to break even. Once we get above this 23%, I may even go to 700, at least lock in 20 or something. Or actually, no, we'll just go to the bottom of this candle here. Because I do not want to take 0 on this if it comes back. Man, think of a nice way to trade if you had the boys to buy in the golden pocket down here. And you can go back and look months and months in advance, and you'll be amazed how often that this pans out, because I've been doing that lately just to see how often this happens. But you just got to be patient and wait. So it just takes time because you got to wait for the full move up and the full move back down. Then down here is where you're looking for your entry. To me, I think to play it safe, if you would just come in it from the back door, so let it run down there and have your order to get wick back in. So I did that with this trade, but like I said, I didn't trust it. So right now we're getting, if we can get through this order block on the 30-minute candle, we should push, but we could reject right here off of the 13. So, man. Whoosh. We got a big order block sitting right here, and another gap too. So definitely if we get through this gap here. So this is another type trade setup right here. This is kind of a ICT type trade. So what this is, like this big leg made a big old fair value gap down here. So what you can do is use this as a failed fair value gap, since it made a high, came back down, then run back down. As soon as this is on the 5-minute charts, as soon as this 5-minute charts breaks above this gap, you just get long. But as long as it does not come and prints back below this gap, it's still a valid trade if you like to use fair value gaps to trade off of. Some people like to use them, some people don't. Or imbalanced gaps. You can call them whatever you want to call them. Forever, I just called them imbalanced gaps. That means there's more sellers than buyers here, is really all there is. But on the, I want to say through the ICT thing, that's more of the name for those traders there. Uh, the 5 minute in between 720 and 700. What does that mean? Oh yeah, yeah, that big 5 minute fair value gap. Yeah. So if we can get through this, man, I just feel like we will probably possibly run these highs up here at 800s. These are the trades I really want to start taking on my funded accounts after the first. I just don't know how often they happen. So I think I'm gonna set one funded account to the side, just strictly do the Fibonacci setup, the golden pocket setup. So, and I may have to do that after the first. Then the next one is going to be kind of like the 5 minute breakout, but the price action just hasn't been clean enough for that setup. Yeah, we got a little bit before lunchtime. I don't trade during the lunchtime. I use the indicator on TradingView that marks that out for me, so we just don't trade it. So I don't know how I change this a different color. Let me. That's weird. Mm, it shows green. I don't know why it's that color though. It must be because of the. It has to be something that's causing that weird color. Oh, that's not. Never mind. That's the Fibonacci. I was like, why is it not green? So we still got a weak high sitting up there at 51. Order blocks are good to use too. Look. Heck, we hit this order block right here at 750 and sold back down 100 and freaking 20 points. I got to try to lock in some profit just in case this thing tries to stop me out. We only have one contract left. We had 7 contracts a while ago. We just sold them at we only had those 7 contracts for very brief. So we just did we set a resting order because I still felt like we're going to move up. So what I did is while we were still trying to push down, I set a 5 contract to add to it, and I sold them within 5 points. So it's like making a quick $50. And the reason I'll do that sometimes because I feel like we're still going to move up to like at least move up another 10 to 15 points. And this way I can still have a negative drawdown. This way, if I want to have my stop loss way down here, it's still to me considered a break even trade. You're just risking your profit that you make if you still feel like we're going to go higher. So that's why usually I'll just do a 2 contracts and a runner. So I try to get that quick 10 points, and that way I can still have a 10-point drawdown to risk. Even though you might see me get stopped out for a 10-point loss, it's actually a break-even trade. Or you can start off with 3 contracts, go for 10 points, and that way you can have a 20-point stop loss. Wherever you think you may need your stop loss at. Not to the point where you're over leveraging and blow your account up, though. Oh, we just get through this gap. We should pop. So this looks like a possible pullback here off the skinny candle here. I'm hoping it stays bullish, because most of the time if you get a stick for a candle on the 5-minute or any, and you got like a little bitty body, even if it's a little bitty red body, the next candle you should get a nice push. You're on your first eval right now. Who are you trading with? Did you at least get a cheap eval and not an expensive one? If it's your first one, because some of those evals are pretty pricey out there too. I just recommend, if you're early, especially if you're early in your trading career. See, Top Step's been having a lot of issues. I'm not really sure what's going on with Top Step lately. They might have gotten their stuff fixed, but I've been seeing a lot of people complain about, I don't know if it's Top Step or if it's the Project X that's having issues. Yeah. The Top Step's the best bet. I say it is if you're like, if you're good at passing evals. But if you're new to trading, I would try to buy evals as cheap as you can, just so that, if you blow your eval, you're not out $50. That's why I was asking, like, if you're fairly new to trading. 50K is the cheapest as I've seen. Oh no, I was talking about 50. Oh, I thought he said it was $50. Okay. Yeah, see, I never did use Top Step in the beginning because they were too pricey for me back in the day. They used to be like $100. They used to be pretty pricey. Yeah, my best bet, since you paid $50, just try to keep from over leverage over leveraging as much as possible in the beginning. And maybe set yourself up where you say, okay, I don't want to lose more than like $200 a day or $300 a day. Because I used to be real bad myself about over leveraging, and I try to just stay away from it if I can. There's every now and then I don't do such a good job with it, but or you can do it where you enter it with one micro and just add to it. That way, if you choose the wrong direction, it's not like, oh crap. So almost all my trades, I try to enter with 2 micros if I can. All right, we broke that gap there. We got 1 minute left on this 5-minute candle. Let's see if we can print. If we can print above this gap here, man, I think we continue up. I think this was the consolidation period here. Consolidation, consolidation. So keep that leg going. Full port every trade. Oh, no full port. Yeah, I did my biggest trade today. Laugh out loud. 320 off that short. Nice. Dude, if you got that today, that's what it's like. Okay, it's time to put this away. Okay, so you did the 1 minute consolidation and a lot. That was a 5-minute fair value gap. Nice. Yeah, him. Everybody does everything. Everybody does something a little bit different. So, from my experience watching people stream online, it's really hard to follow people online, especially if they trade breakouts. But if you know people, I trade off a lot of support and resistance. Usually, that's how I find most of my entries is off support and resistance, or the 15-minute range. Or if I'm taking breakout trades, it's usually off the 5-minute candle. So I wait for a full 5-minute candle to print. If it's mostly all body with no wick, most of the time I'll like to take it. I just wait for a pullback first. I don't ever just jump into a 5-minute candle without usually pulling the fib and to see if we can get less than a 50% pullback on that candle for us to continue lower. The sweet spot is usually like that 20 to 30%. Don't want to get wicked out here. So this could easily come back down to the 700s. If you trade whole numbers, a lot of times there's this one guy that I trade with a lot. That's what he does. He trades off whole numbers off. I'm sorry, Dip. I had my chat down. We are using the Ninja Trader. Sorry about that, YouTube. I don't know why. Like I said, I forget about the chat sometimes, guys. Really sorry. Like I said, sorry. What's up, Solo? How are you doing today? So we're targeting that yesterday's highs up here. Nice. It's always a good day we don't blow your PAs. This price it probably has not been good PA price action since 2 Fridays ago. Because starting last Monday, the price action has sucked straight butt Solo. Whenever we had rollover week last week, sucked. Then this week we got all the holidays. Then next week you got more holidays. So These next couple days, or this next couple weeks, is probably going to suck butt. I just don't know how big of a leg we're going to have before we get some kind of pullback here. So I don't know if it's just safer to take this at the 0%. Because we're already up 50, almost 60 points here. We should be up almost 100 points because I originally got long from 43, but I paper handed it. I want to say lunch starts at 11:30 or 12, right? It's 12. Is it 12 or does it start at 11? There's a SMT with the ES right now. Is that the one you're saying that we have the SMT with, or yeah? Let me look at. I haven't even looked at. Oh yeah, dude, ES is trucking. Uh, I'm probably gonna take the points here, guys, because I'm not gonna let this thing come back and stop me out. I'd rather just take the 40 points. And like I said, I'll make a video on how to set up how I set up my Fibonacci if you're interested in using the Fibonacci retracement. And I know there's plenty of other videos online too. This will just go through the settings on NinjaTrader. I'll do it for NinjaTrader and TradingView. And I can try Quantower because I do use Quantower, but only in the evenings that I use Quantower. SSMT. Um, I'm not sure if I recognize that abbreviation, the SSMT. Man, it's almost like, do we continue up? Man, how crappy was that to me to paper hand my trade today at 43, guys? Crappy, crappy, crappy. Oh, charge my phone. This will be my last trade of the day here. Once it's over, we'll probably be getting off the stream. We don't want to be hesitant about taking another trade. So this will be a good way to finish the stream for the day. Then I'm not sure if the market's open tomorrow, but I don't have anything going on tomorrow morning. So I might just get on here, look at charts if they're on. Don't know if we'll take any trades because it's probably going to be so slow. All right, so we got about 50 seconds left here. We're trying to pop the highs here. So I'm hoping that we don't have to have a pullback and we can still. So this is right now we have 50 points. Or how many points do we got locked in? 92, 102, 12, 22. Yeah, so 40 points at the moment. I just feel like we're due for a pullback after all these freaking green candles. All right, we're about to have a new candle. We'll put our stop loss here at the 20. We'll just leave it at 22. But not a very big candle here. I like to see us go ahead and just go ahead and pop this previous wick here. Solo, are you still using that 15-minute trade where you're doing the 15-minute opening range from 9:30 to 9:45? Man, this thing can just go up all day long. This might be the Santa rally. Just keep going and going and going. I mean, we're over, what, 120 points in the bottom down here. The golden pocket paid, guys. The golden pocket paid. For anybody that's new to the Fibonacci, the golden pocket paid. This is your golden pocket here. And I paper handed it. Nothing worse than paper handing your trades. I know what happened. I was listening to another streamer and they were talking shorts and it scared me out of the trade. Oh yeah, volume is so low. It's such a grind right now, Solo. This has been like a 45-point move. It's so slow. We pulled back at 9:15, and then now it's almost been an hour. We've been in this trade since a little after 9:30. A little after 9:30, we've been in this trade for 30 minutes. Might have to have a pullback. I mean, we're due for a pullback, guys. I mean, this is a really long leg here. So wherever these next 5 minute candle prints, so that's how we're taking our stop loss. So for instance, if this candle does not close below this candle, close up to here, that's where we're going to move our stop loss to. We're just going to follow the 5 minute candles up. So got 1 minute left on this candle here. What's up, Outer? It should have been a better long outer. I paper handed my first entry. We are actually long out of the Fibonacci kill zone down, not kill zone, but the Fibonacci golden pocket down here at the 76, 78%. I got long at 43, and I was listening to another streamer, and they were talking about short, and it got the best of me, and I I went too close to break even, and it was pretty much a paper hand trade. But we re-entered 40 points above where we already should have been long at, though. That's the only thing that sucks. We're trying to target the previous day, not today's high, but the previous day high. So this may turn into a consolidation sideways. So what I'm hoping is we don't get a pullback. So it'll look more like this. So whenever we don't get pullbacks, so you'll basically get what like an idiot box before we continue higher. So depending on how far this thing has to pull back, but you kind of just want to see it trade sideways. You don't really want, I don't want to see it start making, little higher lows, lower lows, then rip. But may just do that because we just broke that candle. So son of a bee. It may create a freaking bull flag up here. So, oh well. I was hoping it would do a sideways. Yeah, that's what I want to target, but I don't want to risk all my points here, though. I'd rather just take my 45 points and move on. Because this thing could pull back every bit of 30-40% here. I don't know. I haven't even really looked at that on my funded accounts. I didn't trade my funded accounts at the very much at the beginning of December because I blew a funded account in November. So a lot of times if I blow a funded account CXN, I'll take like a break from trading it so I don't go tilt on my other accounts. Yeah, I need to start doing a better job keeping up with it starting next month. I used to keep up with it, but recently I have not been. So it looks like we're going to get stopped out here on this runner, guys. We're only about 2 points away from getting stopped out. But if you got a good enough entries and you're willing to withstand this drawdown all the way back to possible the 700s here, because that's where this could go to. or even a possible 21 EMA pullback. So that's why I was saying that we could possibly pull back to the 700s. Save some of it, then pay for your next set of accounts. That's nice. 15K in payouts. That's pretty good, James. Who'd you get your payout with? So people know like they pay, because a lot of times that's usually one of the main questions, if that prop firm pays. Top Step, nice. Yeah, Top Step's good about paying out. I've only ever been screwed over once by a prop firm, and that was Fast Track. They took my affiliate money and my payout. They took both. Didn't pay either one. Yeah, that was early Fast Track. That was before their downhill. Literally, I think I bought into them like a month or two before like their whole thing went to crap. Yeah, they went into bankruptcy, so they didn't pay nothing out. And what sucks, man, I had most all my accounts with them, and I feel like I had to start over. So that put a damper on things. uh, yeah, they were. Their rules were just too good, and so many people were abusing them. Everyone was winning. Oh yeah. So you're so right. Everybody was getting a payout with them with their rules. Unfortunately, I caught the intel where they stopped paying. All right, so we might have got a little bull flag here. Whew. Yeah, I remember him using it too. Yeah, but see, they were paying out a lot of those larger affiliates, James, because they were still trying to keep their whole, financial storm under wrap. So, like I said, we're trying to target that previous day high up here at 800. So, I'm hoping that this is just going to be a little bull flag here and it pops. I'm hoping this is the extent of the pullback here. Mm, yeah, I got one of those letters. I don't ever open them or look at them. I mean, I don't expect anything back from that. So I'm assuming just the money I had to pay in to buy their accounts is just lost money. I'm pretty sure they already hid all their money away before that whole bankruptcy thing started taking effect. So no, Top Step doesn't. They have very few affiliates these days, James. I'm not sure who the Top Step affiliates are. Most of them are probably on their TV channel. Top Steps, they started doing away with their discount codes about a year or a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. And I think even a lot of the bigger streamers lost theirs, because I remember Patrick used to do Top Step. A lot of the other smaller YouTubers I watched did Top Step. Rip, I think that guy Rip used to do Top Step too. Trade by Mats. There's a lot of different ones that use Top Step, but like I said, I think they did away with a lot of their affiliates. I guess they pretty much just use the affiliates and their channels to grow their channel, and so now I think they just centralize what goes on their channel. I've never really understood the prop steps, or not prop steps, but prop firms' YouTube channels. I don't really see their purpose of wanting anybody to do good in trading when you're their customer. That's the only part I don't understand as far as the um, prop firm channels go. Like, I'm with you guys. I'm trying to take prop firms' money, not not keep it. That's why I don't understand, like, with them. Like, I don't understand why they would want people to do good. I could be wrong though. I don't know. I don't know anybody that's, on some of those prop firm TV channels. So, or if I do, maybe that's like a disclosure. They're not allowed to say. All right, so we just had a nice little two candle bull flag there for anybody that likes the bull flag breakouts. And this is on the 5 minutes. See if it pays you at least 10 points. Very low volume, so it's a struggle just to get 10 points at the moment. So starting at the first of the year, I'm gonna set a funded account to the side and strictly use it on these Fibonacci golden pocket trades. Ooh, I only got about 10 more minutes left, guys, and I have to end my stream. So I was hoping we would at least make it up there to the 780s. We're looking for us to run the 800s. So our target is this here. This is yesterday's high. There's a big wick up here at the 890s, 895s, it looks like. So we'll either get there or it could get rejected here at the 665 somewhere. That's got a big downward wick there. But I'm not sure if this was a data wick. I'm not really sure if that was a news play yesterday. And I don't think we had news, so I'm not really sure. So far, guys, we've been in this trade since 9:45 or 9:30. So we've been in this trade for almost 50 minutes, and I've only gone up 57 points. So this is just how slow price action is today. You definitely don't want to be full porting this because it's so hard to get your profit back if you make a mistake, because you don't have that momentum trading that you would need to get like that quick 5 or 10 points if you're full porting. So this would be a crappy day to full port. James, did they ever get Project X working correctly? Did they ever say what was causing those issues with Project X last week or the week before? Man, do you remember the rules that Top Step used to have a year or two ago with you had to like pass like 3 steps to get a funded account. You used to have to pass the first step, then you had to pass the second step, then the third step. I think you would get the funded. Like, it was pretty tough back then. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not. And they also used to be $100 for a for eval back then. Man, I'm gonna have to figure out how to play music over here on TikTok while we're live. Cause man, I don't know about the rest of you, but I like to sit here and listen to music while watching charts. Most of the time, this is what I'll do when I'm at home by myself. My wife always she looks at me weird, like, "What are you doing?" Like watching charts. I don't know if anybody else's wife, like, why are you always watching charts? Because it's an addiction. It's like we all know there's something there. We just got to find it. All right, let's break out of this idiot box that we have going on here. Hopefully, we're on the right side of the box. Woo. Oh yeah, price action sucks the day outer. It's probably not going to come back to normal until after the first. These next few days or next few weeks is going to be just very slow grinding price action. So these are good days to trade off support and resistance, if you ask me. These are like perfect support and resistant level days. And like I said, when I get back home this evening or tonight, I will try to make a how I set up my Fibonacci for anybody that wants to use Fib. You don't get this trade set up every day, but at least 2 or 3 times a week that you'll see that you get this nice golden pocket retracement. Fish lips, we got the perfect pullback with the Fib this morning. I paper handed the first one, fish lips, like the perfect golden pocket pullback. I got long about 43, and I was listening to another streamer, and they were short, and it messed with me. I started not trusting the trade, so I entered about 40 points later, but we should have been long from 43 and not 82, so it should have been a lot better of a trade than what we have now. So now we're just kind of stuck at the previous leg high here at 40. So hopefully we can make it up to the 800s or 790s. And I don't even know why I didn't trust it, because this happens at least twice a week. I know, at least twice to 3 times a week. So you got the big push up, and you got the opening 15-minute candle, which I call it the opening because it's the opening of the hour. It's from 9 o'clock to 9:15. And most of the time, we always pull back into this candle right here. So, and we did. We pull back into this candle, retest the 15 minutes, and yeah, straight back up. So next week or the first of the year, I'm gonna set a one funded account to the side and take this trade every time it happens. And no matter if it's a winner or loser, just try to put my entry if it pulls back into the 76 to 80% or back into the 15 minutes, and just have my stop loss down here at the bottom of the previous leg. Man, you done cleared over 800 points today. Oh yeah, with this back and forth, this was like, man, this was butter for you today, because it's good waving since you're doing the whole numbers. Man, you would have got a long here, a short here. It was all over the place for you today. Are you talking about the one I was talking about, Fish Lips? Oh, I was talking about Fish Lips trades, how he was probably taking his entries today. I haven't really ever started taking Fish Lips trade, but he's been around long enough that I try to understand it where, he's either shorting or longing the whole number. So I think if it pushes through the whole number and then he's looking for a push back into the whole number, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I don't have it all the way down. I just know he trades off these whole numbers. If we can print outside this box, I'll carry my stop loss up to 32 here. We got 40 seconds on a new candle. This is a lot of green candles without some kind of deep pullback, guys. I mean, you would think that we would get this deep pullback either back into the 700s just because the 21 EMA is so far away. Come on, push. We might get the pullback because we just ran this previous leg high here at 50. This is probably where to go back down to the 25 or something. All right, this one looks like it's finally going to get us here. So if it breaks above 700 and can't get back to a retracement long at the 725. So you mean if it goes to the 25 then pulls back? Okay, so you're saying if it hits the 750 short back to the 25. I suck at like whenever I'm thinking of charts, like just reading. I'm such a visual person when it comes to this stuff. All right, so it looks like we're finally gonna get stopped out, guys. Nope. Okay, so you're waiting for it to push above the 25, then short it back into the whole number. Or that's where you're looking for the short back into the 700s, right? Then the same for the 50. You wait for it to break above the 50, then for it to kind of pull back down to the 25. And it's the same thing like whenever we hit that whole number, like you wait for it to push to 700 to push back to that 775. Okay. I may have to just try that regularly on an eval and just see how well I do with it. I mean, I know I've been hearing you talk about it for a long time. It said that some comments in this live were filtered to protect your community experience. I don't know what a TikTok, the language for in trading or something, because it seems like they're always trying to filter something. It's pretty funny. I know 25 points. I mean, that's really good with a micro. I mean, that's like $50 a pop. I mean, if you got 2 or 3 of those a day, I mean, man. That's the same what I've been doing fish lips. I know it takes a lot longer to get to the end goal using micros, but it's definitely a lot less stressful than over leveraging. That's why I've also been trying to get better at trading the uh, London session too, off of levels or support and resistant levels. We had a pretty good streak going there for a minute. I think we finally took a loss one day last week, but we've only had that one loss on those accounts. And that's what the Pedeas accounts. So we'll be back this evening, excuse me, for the London session or the Asia market and see if we can find like 1 10 20 point trade. Maybe next Monday we'll pick up one of Bewley's 50 or 90% off and just constantly practice those type of trades with it, because you get a lot of those trades a day, or it happens pretty consistently. What do you consider your stop loss, or do you have a stop loss, or do you so if it goes to the 50 then goes to the 75, like what is your stop out loss on that? Like what do you, or do you even have a stop loss? So we're still just kind of consolidating in this area. I thought I was going to get stopped out here. Well, hopefully everybody had an okay trading day. If you did blow an account, hopefully it was just an eval or had a bad day on a sim account and not a funded account. Mm. Okay, so you try to DCA back into it. All right, so if we get stopped out here, we'll just have a 50 points, so we'll get a 50-point trade. All right, so we finally got stopped out after about an hour. So I was really hoping that we would be able to run those yesterday highs up at the 800s, but it was a no-go. And I'm not saying you won't get up there, but I really don't have that much time to sit here and wait another 45 minutes to see if this is going to make it up there. Guys, thank you guys for the likes and follows today. And like I said, we're going to start taking this particular setup on a funded count pretty soon. So basically what this is we're looking for a pullback into the 15-minute candle. This does not happen every day, but it at least happens 2 or 3 times a week. And whatever move you get out of that is usually a fairly big one. So just for instance, here's yesterday's. We missed yesterday's. Look. This was yesterday's. This happens multiple times a week. So we're going to start looking for this trade. I knew it's happening over and over. I just haven't really like focused on it. So you're just looking for the big move, and you're looking for us to trade back into the 15-minute range, which is not quite up to the 76%, but it's at least above 60. If you can get above 60, somewhere in between this range and this range, that's where I would start looking for shorts. If you this, there's probably fibs all the way back through here because I went back forever, like looking at this crap. I want to say this was the only day that we didn't get the pull. Well, yes, we did, but it was on a smaller scale. It was this one. So it does not look the same every day. All right, so this was the leg straight up, and you just had one candle that basically just whipped down inside that 15-minute range and inside the 60 to 70%. So this is what you would be looking for here. So like I said, I'm going to consistently try to start taking this with one funded account with 1 or 2 micros. But hell, 1 or 2 micros, and every day it almost goes 100 points. This day it went 200 points. You just have to keep going back and back and just see how well it has done. See, I went back and looked at this one. This leg was off because the leg was started down here, but the time the market opens, it opened kind of already on the high end of the leg. So today, this day would have been kind of on the weird side. Unless, no, you wouldn't have counted this one because it never broke past here. So, not saying it's going to look like the same every day. I know. I wonder if I remember this day because this day looks like, what the crap? Oh, that day looked horrible. So, you also didn't get much of a pullback on this day either. So basically what it is let's see, make sure. Okay. So this is where I kind of looked at this one wrong. I just noticed that that leg is actually right here. So the 15 minutes is the golden pocket. And I didn't even notice that until now. So this would have been the leg here. This would have been the bottom. This would have been the pullback, golden pocket, then major dump off. Wow, totally missed that. I was looking at this earlier this morning because I was like, how the hell would you enter that? Then, yep. And you got a nice little 5-minute trend line along with it. Trend line, golden pocket, and one. All right, guys, I gotta walk away because I'll sit here and do this for hours because this is pretty much what I do all the time when I'm sitting at home sitting in here by myself. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching today. Yeah, we'll try to be back for London session to look at charts. Even if I can't find a trade or something, it'll be on my Quantower chart. So we won't be trading on Ninja. We will be trading on Quantower. Those are the per days accounts that I use. That was like $8. Those $8 evals. They're the old Apex rules. Fish lips, you should consider them whenever they put their sale back on, even though it's with Quantower. I'm hoping around the 1st or after Christmas, they'll do another $8 sale. And they have the old Apex rules. If you get to payout, you can take 1,000 out instead of the 500. So if you get to 1,600, you can take it all the way back down to $600 instead of where Apex, you only can take it down to 1,100. So they have those old Apex rules. All right. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Be careful if you are getting long up here because you are way into premium. So we are oversold at the moment. So just be aware of that if you are looking for a long up here, or if you are going to take a long, I'd wait for us to print outside of this idiot box and use this idiot box as your support if you're kind of scalping, like scalping type trading. And I'll also make a video for anybody that wants to set up their Fibonacci this way. So basically what it is, you can do whatever colors you want. These are just colors I picked. And I also did the Fibonacci extension with this Fibonacci 2. And I've recently just started using the extension thing. So I don't really know too much about this. But the idea here is if you pull back into the 60, you're supposed to target the negative 61% up here at 840. For the 78%, you would target basically this negative 27%, the yellow. Then 86%, you would target the 780s. So actually, this is supposed to be your target here. And it actually adds up perfect because that's right there at that previous day high. So it's actually not a bad target. That's what I would have targeted. Thanks, Believer. Thank you, guys. Everyone have a good one. Takes me a minute to go through all my stuff here. I gotta find it. I got so much crap open. Sometimes I get little warnings from my GPU, like, help. I have so much stuff open. Heck, I feel like I have a gold mine over there in my RAM because I have I think I have like 64 gigabytes of RAM over there in my computer. Or maybe even, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's 4 sticks of 16. So yeah. I heard how much RAM was. Has anybody looked into that? How much RAM costs these days? It is insane. Holy crap. Oh, okay, there's my page. All right. There's one.